close and
Hey guys, this is the Comic Book Syndicate. We just saw Spider-Man Far From Home. The first half of the movie, I was disappointed. I thought it was boring. I thought this movie's gonna bomb. It's gonna Dark Phoenix bomb. And then this big twist happened that I won't give away. But I thought after that twist, I thought the whole movie was unpredictable and I really liked it. What did you think, Jolie?
Well, I mean, it was fine. It was
Serviceable?
No. My assessment of every single movie is the same. It's like, well, it was a movie, right? But like that's the same thing that I said about Dark Phoenix, which is giving it a lot of credit. So it's like, oh no, this is like Hitchcock in comparison. I just thought it was very, this is very like Peter Parker High School. I'm really into this. They were just wrapping things up and getting you right back into the world, and that's exactly what they needed to do. So they started off telling us about the blip. And then they just took it from there, explaining why all of the high school kids were like, some were like 21 and some were still 16, etc. So,
Becca.
You're boring. No. I didn't have any problem with it, obviously. No, I thought the first half was fine. I was like a high school fun, like, I was like, oh yeah, I was this horribly awkward in high school too about the girls that I liked. Like, honestly, I never asked any of them out, but, no, I, like, the whole thing with Peter and Ned, Peter just wants to, like, date his girlfriend and Aunt May in those jeans. No, I mean, I really, really liked it. I really enjoyed myself. Like,
The whole thing, it
was fun, it was interesting, it was a nice break from the endgame big, giant universe catastrophe into little, teeny tiny, just Peter Parker's story kind of a movie. And that's what I think Marvel does really, really good, is they have their little teeny tiny bits and pieces that they make into these giant explosions and then can come back down to little bits and pieces. So they did the same thing with like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where it was a small movie, like one person's or two people's story after a big event, and then it was the same with this one, with there's a big event and then it's just Peter's story and his life and trying to get back together. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I thought it was well paced. I thought it looked aesthetically beautiful. Just genuinely enjoyed myself.
I think that's why the Marvel movies are so successful too, because they've kind of taken that comic book formula where it's like the Spider-Man can have his own arc in his comic books, but then when these big event pieces happen, all these other characters that are in their own movies or their own comics kind of come together. So I think that's why sometimes those smaller stories work better. Like Ant-Man, for me at least, really worked well because it didn't feel, especially right after Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp was kind of a nice, slow pace. It was like a contained story. I wasn't stressed out watching the movie. I didn't feel like the whole world was going to end. This kind of had a similar sense where it was like a small, contained movie, and it was just about those characters, which I really liked.
Are you guys Marvel Cinematic Universe fans, first of all?
Yes, I am. I've been following it pretty much since the beginning.
Okay.
I remember seeing Iron Man in the theater, and I've seen pretty much every single one since then. Yeah.
Yeah. Same. Like when I was in China, I was seeing like different movies, but like when I came here, like I caught up every single the one came out to the theater.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys read any of the comics?
Here and there. I wouldn't call myself an expert though.
Okay.
I've dabbled,
Not really.
Well, guess what? You guys are exactly like the 99% of the people that see these movies then.
Yeah.
So this movie is designed for you.
though I will say, once they introduced like the elementals, and you see the first elemental and you see Mysterio just destroy it, I was like, oh no, is this just gonna be a world destroying movie again?
Right.
And I'm like, no, wait. There's something up. There's something about the pacing, because they introduced that and then they just kind of go right into like Fury looking for Spider-Man, just like a lot.
Yeah, because even when he was saying it's like, oh, this destroyed my world, I didn't feel like it was a world-ending catastrophe. It was like, oh, this one hurt this one part of like not even a part of a city, like a little 3-street block, like, and then like the other one just attacked a carnival. Like they were
very contained.
Yes.
You know, here's the thing is, I don't know how clever the writers are, but I can forgive the first half of the movie if it was purposely made to seem almost cliche. Because remember Mysterio says, oh, this is the one that killed what does he say, his wife or something?
His
family.
And he's twisting the wedding ring, and I'm like, I thought it was genius the way it was. You're completely right. It's supposed to make it feel like everything's fine and nothing's the matter, and then all of a sudden this guy comes in, like it's like he's like your dream. Like he comes in, he saves the day, and he takes away your responsibilities.
Yeah, and for people who know who Mysterio are, I bet it seemed a little bit fishy because the whole time I was like, oh, this is awesome. Jake Gyllenhaal's going to be an Avenger. I'm going to see way more of him. And then he's going to replace Tony Stark. Give him the glasses. Give him the glasses.
so good.
And then, spoiler alert, he is evil. Like, he turns evil and I'm like, oh.
I felt
Bryce,
exactly
what do you
the
think?
same way.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had like issues in my mind up until that point. I was like, oh my god, where is this going? What is happening right here? Why isn't this character acting like I know him to act? And then the switch happened and it got rid of most of my problems. So it's cool. Yeah.
Annie, you felt the same way?
Yeah, at the first I saw it, it was so random because it's
Yeah.
like, we just like fighting the bad guy and there's like a hero
Yeah.
like, actually fighting
didn't-
for the...
It didn't really feel like it had a
for the-
direction. I was kind of like, where is this going?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
until like Peter like went off the door and everything started twisting, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So did you have any idea that Mysterio was supposed to be a bad guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've watched the old cartoons a long time ago, and I've also played some of the old games, so I knew
Okay.
he was supposed to be a bad guy, but for some reason while I was going along, I'm like, why is he being good? Why does he kind of act like Doctor Strange? Like, this is very kind of weird. And then, well, I don't know, are we doing spoilers?
Yeah, well, I mean, we already spoiled the midway twist. So go ahead.
Yeah. And then he twists, and he instantly starts acting like the Mysterio that I remember.
Right.
Like, doing all the crazy, the illusion stuff was really, really cool. Like, when he punches, like, the concrete wall, and, like, when he's twisting around and doesn't know where he is.
Yeah, I just
And,
can't imagine
yeah.
this like holograph like technologies can make it so real. And
Yeah.
they're just like there and
Oh,
they
God.
just break everything.
That con was so well done because Jake Gyllenhaal led Mysterio led Peter Parker right into it, where it wasn't Mysterio's idea to give him the glasses, it was Peter Parker's idea, and that's what that was so clever. And Mysterio was like, oh no, I can't take the glasses. Okay, fine. And it was so well done because that's exactly how a con works. It's all Peter Parker made the decision. He got conned.
I think going back to what you were saying earlier too about it, we weren't sure if the screenwriters did the slow pace at the beginning on purpose. I think it totally makes sense too because they make reference to that and they call that out by having somebody in Mysterio's ear the whole time reading him feeding him lines like a script. So it was completely, I think, done on purpose, where it was supposed to be built up to be this typical superhero movie or superhero climax, and then that's why the twist I think works so well, at least for maybe people who haven't known who Mysterio is prior.
The Doctor Strange and the Doctor Strange movie I was kind of underwhelmed by his illusions or his magic, but in this film, once Mysterio started using his illusions on Spider-Man, I was really wrapped up in it.
Yeah.
Like it was the shooting, the editing, the sound was disorienting. Did you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on, and everything I was watching, I was like, "Is this an illusion? Is this real?" And that whole I think one of the best moments was that when he was asking about who Peter told and stuff, and then he's just like, "Yeah, it was my two friends," and he's just like, "Oh, now I'm gonna have to kill them."
Yeah.
And it
That scene was
switches.
so
I was like,
creepy,
"Oh, that's
yeah.
such a
Uh-huh.
that's
That
so
was like-
Mysterio."
Now, here's the question. Jake Gyllenhaal. Let's just talk about Jake Gyllenhaal for a minute, okay? I'm a big fan. He's probably my favorite lead actor right now. Jolie, what'd you think of Jake Gyllenhaal in this film?
All I have to say is Ryan Gosling who. I've always known he was going to come into his own, and that was perfect. It was perfect. And I think like the big media press junket like bromance that they've been shopping with him and Tom Holland just has really pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, because it did it to me. Because I deep down knew just from like I think somewhere inside me I knew that Mysterio was supposed to be the bad guy and that this movie wouldn't not have a bad guy, but I was just like totally falling for everything he was shopping. Like
And these elementals, like you look them up.
No,
and
and they
who are
actually
these
like,
elementals? I mean,
Yeah.
they do exist, but they're so obscure. You're like, this can't be the bad. These can't be the bad guy.
yeah,
anyway.
and he's right. This is the exact, like, after all of this crazy world building and like bringing in people from the known universe, like all the corners, like this is exactly the kind of superhero like story or conflict that people want to hear, especially S.H.I.E.L.D. He had us all fooled. He had me fooled. He had Peter fooled. He had Stark fooled, etc.
So, are you guys fans of Jake Gyllenhaal?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh yes.
Jake Gyllenhaal played
Yeah.
Mysterio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
That was so funny because I don't know Mysterio at all.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But like I know Jake. I follow his Instagram and I know he was in the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Becca, Jake Gyllenhaal.
So maybe not like daddy, but definitely like stepdaddy. Like,
Right? I mean, because stepdaddies are evil.
yeah, stepdaddies are evil, but also sometimes hot. No, I thought it were like you want to believe Jake Gyllenhaal is a nice man so badly, and then he's just a piece of garbage, and I loved it. I loved it. Mysterio's my favorite Spider-Man villain. Like, I bought this hat because it had 1/6 of. Is it over here, right?
Yeah.
This side. This side.
Wait, this side.
That
This
side,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
I bought this hat because it was 1/6 Mysterio. I was like, I don't care about Kraven the Hunter, but I guess it's on my hat. But like, I love Mysterio, and I was so excited when I heard that they were gonna have him in this movie. And the suit looks so good. Like the effects for Mysterio looked so amazing when he's like using his illusions on Peter. It like gave me such comic book vibes, like almost Scarecrow from Batman, like fear toxic kind of vibes. It was so interesting and well done, and also not giant and like a CGI clusterfuck. It was like, oh, there's 6 Mysterios. Which one's Mysterio? Oh, this a thing that you think you're punching is actually just a wall, and like just
Right.
little illusions that were disorienting, and it worked really,
Right.
really well. So every part about Mysterio was awesome, from like the con, from like his pretending to be sincere to like him partying in that bar in just a spandex bodysuit. You know, it was all great. I Spider-Man villains so far in the Marvel universe, like with Vulture was the first one, and now we have Mysterio. I think they're deciding that they need to make these villains very, very intricate characters, and they're not. Maybe they
point.
have good intentions at the beginning, but it becomes something else, right? With Vulture, he just wanted to do well by his family, but then he started killing people, and not so great. And then with Mysterio, he just wanted him and all of his coworkers to get the
What they
respect they
deserved,
deserved.
yeah.
And then it turned into maybe a little crazy.
Because even when you find out that he's evil, you sympathize with the entire, like, Stark Industries, all these employees.
For sure.
Because you're like, one, they're sitting in a bar in costume, and no one is batting an eye. Like, no one is flinching that Mysterio is just sitting at the bar is like, wait, something's up.
You know what's funny is I noticed that, but then after I realized the twist, I didn't think back to that. But you're right; it's like that was foreshadowing.
Yeah, because
Perfect.
Yeah.
It was well
all
done.
of the evil henchmen were sitting in that damn bar, and I'm like, ew, that makes sense.
Here's a little fun fact: Jake Gyllenhaal was originally going to replace Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 2 because Tobey Maguire had a neck injury.
yeah.
was
I read the news.
Yeah.
So, like,
So he was going
it's
to
like
be
he was the
Spider-Man?
closest
Yeah.
person ever.
That's awesome.
So,
Yes.
I
Jake
think-
Gyllenhaal talked to
Oh,
us.
I love Jake Gyllenhaal. He's a really great actor. I think that he's really charismatic, which really helped at the beginning of the movie. And then when he does have that turn, he kind of, amps up that Nightcrawler vibe where he.
Yes, I noticed that. I noticed that.
Oh my goodness, it was so good, especially on the bridge with that Spider-Man Mysterio showdown. He really amped up that creepy factor, which I absolutely love.
And just for the comic book fans, he does not mean Kurt Wagner. He means the movie Nightcrawler. with
Right.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I thought he did a great job. I love Mysterio's character. I was wondering how they were going to translate him from the comics, because in the comics he's a failed like special
actor.
effects
Yeah.
artist and like stunt actor, which is kind of interesting and fun, but like definitely wouldn't have fit. But they kind of played off of the same themes from the first Spider-Man Homecoming, with the Vulture also being an ex-Stark employee, or he was angry at Stark
Right.
for because he was the part of the cleanup crew after the Avengers,
And then S.H.I.E.L.D. took over, right?
Right. So he was kind of upset at Stark, and then Quentin Beck also had those similar themes, which I think fit so well with this version of Spider-Man because he's so close to Tony. So
Simmering undercurrents of labor politics, people. Take care of your employees.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane? Yeah, I loved how different she was. I'm like, this isn't at all like Mary Jane in any of the other things
Sure.
that I've
Yeah.
seen. Like, she was very awkward. Like, her awkward energy and Peter's awkward energy.
Like they're just perfect.
Yeah,
Match,
yeah.
The chemistry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought she was really good too. I thought
Yeah.
a lot of the actors in the movie were a little bit stilted, like they were just saying the lines to move the plot
Yeah.
forward. But I thought the actress that played Mary Jane was really good.
Really good.
I
Yeah.
thought she was excellent.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Tom Holland.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I he's growing on me a little bit. I didn't love him in the last movie, and no one can beat Tobey Maguire in my opinion. What do you guys think about Tom Holland as Spider-Man?
Like, I believe him. Like, I believe him as Spider-Man. I believe him as an awkward kid. It was, like, a lot of the interactions felt very awkward and kind of high school in this one, which I, like, believed in. Like, I don't know. I guess it's because he's not, like, a college student in the other ones, where, like, we're not seeing a lot of these characters, like, the Daily Bugle with J. Jonah Jameson and stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with him.
Good. And
I don't really compare with any of the older one because like no replace. No. It's just like a new version of Spider-Man that like from high school and he grew up. Literally. Yes. Like he has his attitude. And yeah, like you go on your like school trip, you want to hang out with your girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Like I mean, he grew up. He have to like speak up for himself, which is awesome. Like I love this movie so much.
I don't know if I was just kind of like, I wasn't expecting the Mysterio twist for some reason. I was kind of just sucked into it. I'm like, oh, cool. He's actually acting. I remember him. But yeah, about, like you said, about halfway into the movie, I was like, and then afterwards, like a lot of my problems vanished, and I was like, this is cool. I liked kind of where it went from there.
excellent. Andy?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Andy, do you recommend this film?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, just go
Excellent.
watch it.
Yeah.
Because like you're just like riding a roller coaster. Every scene is really really nice. Yeah.
Every scene.
Yeah.
Yes?
Every scene, yeah.
Okay, and where do you guys see, where is Marvel going to go next? Like, now everyone knows Spider-Man's identity, so what do you think is going to happen next?
I honestly don't know. Like, I'm very interested in seeing what they do with it. Like, it's kind of, it reminded me of the Iron Man, like, I am Iron Man, but it was kind of, like, he didn't reveal it, the enemy revealed it.
Right.
So, like, are the people going to twist on him? I was kind of thinking, oh, Mary Jane only got to be the kind of special inside, I know who Spider-Man is club for a little bit, and then that got taken away from her, and I bet there's going to be a joke about that in the next one. But, yeah.
Andy, what do you think? Where's Marvel going to go next?
I'm like when the last scene was showed up like on a video, because it was like I was worried. It's like, oh my god, did he will say Peter Parker? Yeah, he did. So I'm like, oh damn, I don't really know, to be honest. I'm excited, but at the same time I don't want to disappoint myself, so I'm just like, keep it.
Okay, so final question. Do you recommend this film? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. There you go, guys. Spider-Man Far From Home. It started out kind of surprisingly average, and then it got really good in the second half. So go and see this film. It's another hit for Marvel. I'm sure it'll make at least $1 billion.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how dope Zendaya is?
Oh yeah, we didn't get to talk about MJ.
She's dope.
Okay.
End of conversation.
Do you want to do the intro?
No.
Since this you're the only ones with good taste on the internet. Okay, so we just saw Spider-Man Far From Home.